wasn't able to get on here last night and talk to you guys about what is going on in Dallas, but I definitely wanted to get on here today. Hey, I'm Ashley Nicole Baker, and I want to talk about the blame game in Big D. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know I'm talking about those daggone Dallas Cowboys. Um, Listen, it's the other night when I went live with you guys, I was super, annoyed, super irritated, and I'm back, still annoyed, still super irritated. In the chat, really quick, Brian, I see that you here. Can you hear me good? I just want to make sure. Oh, yeah, you're talking trash. You can hear me just perfect. I'm still annoyed, still irritated, and I know that organization, and I knew that there was going to be some good stuff that was going to come out yesterday and some good stuff that didn't came out today. I knew that they were going to start yapping their mouths. I knew that there were going to be excuses. I knew that there were going to be remarks and comments from Jerry Jones, from Stephen Jones. There's remarks and comments from players, and we're going to get into that in a minute. There's remarks and comments, of course, from the coaching staff. Listen, there is some, I'm not going to say it's trouble in Big D. I mean, there's just a lot going on. Players are frustrated. The front office is frustrated. Everybody's just annoyed. Fans are frustrated. I know y'all saw plenty of the memes and plenty of the pictures of the fans in the arena or in the stadium that night. Folks is upset. Folks is annoyed, man, because we did not expect the Dallas Cowboys to look the way they do under the direction of Mike McCarthy. So there's a couple of things I want to address. Yeah, that's right. I wrote some stuff down. And, typically I like to go off here. Y'all like to go off the top of the dome. But no, there are some things that I have got to address with this Dallas team. And I am going to address it now. Mark, I see that you're a Steelers fan. Even you got to admit that this is just pathetic. Is the perfect word. Even you got to admit that this is just pathetic what's going on with Dallas right now. So, however, I do want to talk about, I want to kind of get into the ins and outs of the game a little bit from Monday night. They lost horribly. Lost by 28 points to the Arizona Cardinals in the beginning of the year. I marked that as a game that I believe that Dallas would win. They did not win it, obviously. And so a couple of things. Obviously, when I marked that at the beginning of the year, I thought that Dak Prescott would be playing. Let me be very clear. I want to be very clear on some things. Dallas wouldn't be doing well with or without Dak Prescott. And I think that I have said that to you guys before. I want to make it clear again. It does not matter. The way that the defense is, I'm not sure what's going on with the offense. We are going to get into that in a few minutes. But Dallas just wouldn't be doing it. There's not a surprise. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if Dallas was still sitting at 2-4, even if Dak Prescott hadn't gotten injured. Because what probably would have happened that game is they would have been down by the same amount of points. The only difference is that Dak is more capable of mounting a comeback than Andy Dalton is. I still think that Dallas would have fallen short and end up losing the game regardless. So they would have been 2-4. Doesn't matter. They would have been 2-4. Andy Dalton. 2 INTs. Maybe he got 3. I really don't know for sure. The interceptions, the fumbles by Zeke, the drop passes that I saw by the receivers. I want to start with the offense. I know that they're missing a lot of key pieces on their offensive line. Tyron Smith is not there. Your starting center is not there. Zach Martin just went out with a concussion, and he didn't play the rest of the game after, being kneed by Zeke on one of the plays in Monday's game. It is just not good for the offense right now. And honestly, we need a quarterback that can move, that can make plays, that can extend the plays, as I said the other night. And Andy Dalton is just not that quarterback. I agree, Brian. The morale is trash. That stuff is starting from the top, though. And you guys are going to hear me talk a lot about how players' mentalities, I don't care how much they're getting paid. players' mentalities, their thought process, the way that they are, that stuff trickles from the top. And I don't feel like that the team is very happy with the front office, and they're not very happy with their coaching staff. And I've been saying this anyway. As I mentioned, Zeke with the fumbles, he did come into the presser and completely put the game on him. He was responsible for 14 of those points that the Arizona Cardinals ended up getting. He apologized, said that the game was on him, said he needed to be better. The offense needs to be better as a whole. Again, as I said before on Monday night, to play devil advocate a bit, Andy Dalton, that was his first game with this squad. Andy Dalton is a vet. I think that Andy Dalton will get better. He may get better enough for them to win the division. They won't get any further than, the first round of the playoffs. If they win the division, by the way, I don't have them winning the division. I'll tell y'all who I think I have winning the division soon. But that was his first game. The offense got some work to do, and it's going to be hard because that offensive line is so banged up, and they literally depend on that offensive line for them. I mean, the offense runs through the offensive line. We want to say the offense ran through Dak or ran through Zeke or runs through Zeke. That offense runs through the offensive line, and when folks is missing, it's just not going to be pretty for the quarterback sitting back there, especially when you're dealing with a quarterback that's not mobile like Andy Dalton. Trade for Tyrod Taylor, nah. Maybe. I don't think that the front office would do that. And I know that I think I saw somebody mention Kaepernick as well. We'll get into that later. I don't think that that's happening. But I do want to jump to the defensive side of the ball. I don't understand why Dallas listen, the 2 years that Chris Richard was handling that defense, the Dallas Cowboys, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, I believe that the Dallas Cowboys were at least ranking between the 10th and 15th defense. Playing pretty good, especially compared to the years before. I mean, I'm one of the people that have been advocating for Dallas to keep a good defense. And Chris Richard was one of those individuals that, coached very well, put guys in the right spot. Definitely, I felt like that he knew what to do to cater to those players' talents. And I'm sorry, but he was a black coach that was very relatable to his black players. We just gonna put that out there. I'm a little confused as to why Kellen Moore was allowed to stay on the offensive side of things for Dallas, but we didn't keep Chris Richard because Mike McCarthy wanted to bring Mike Nolan in. That was a huge mistake. And perhaps Mike Nolan is just complicating the defense too much. I mean, it's just some horrible breakdowns in coverage that's going on in the Dallas front seven. Damn sure in the secondary, it's just it's too complicated. They need to go back to basic schemes, to basic defense. We don't have a stud in the back. I thought we had a damn stud in DeMarcus Lawrence at the front seven, and he's disappeared. Y'all gotta follow me on my Twitter at @AshleyBaker_21. Make sure y'all follow me there. But I have definitely spoken about how several guys have just disappeared since they got money. Leighton Vander Esch came back. That didn't make much of a difference. It's just the decisions that Dallas makes, period. The decisions that Dallas makes from the front office to coaching really puts these players in bad positions. This is exactly what the world needs right now, more political commentary. I mean, I guess. But I'm not sure, it's a whole lot going on. I feel like, as Brian said earlier in the comments, the morale is just horrible. Right after the game on a Tuesday, you had players talking about how the coaches just aren't very good at their job, and you got so many fans with mixed emotions about those comments coming out. How everything was supposed to be kept internal, and things were supposed to stay in the locker room. And when folks get mad, folks are gonna say what they gotta say. I will say this: I don't think that these coaches aren't really good at their job is towards Mike McCarthy, but in a sense, it's falling back on Mike McCarthy because he brought in Mike Nolan. And I think that that's just everybody's biggest headache right now, the way that the defense is playing. Even before Dak went down, we had to fight so hard to stay in games because the defense was just letting the opposing teams crap on it. It's ridiculous. I can't. It's just too much. And now it's the back and forth. It's the blame game. And Mike McCarthy came out and said, he made his statements in regards to things need to be kept internal and things like that. And when you're dealing with grown men, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, grown men ain't about to sit up here and keep nothing internal. If they feel like they want to say something, if they feel like they want to say something that's going to turn some heads and get the attention of the front office, Mike Nolan has got to go. It's quite obvious that Mike Nolan has got to go. I feel for Mike McCarthy. I mean, I was okay with Mike McCarthy coming in, doing what he got to do offensively. I knew that he would make us look good offensively. And to be honest, he has made our offense look great, especially when Dak was there. I mean, of course, not last game because of, them just plugging in Andy Dalton. But the Dallas Cowboys were top ranked in offense the whole 5 weeks that Dak was there. 4 or 5 weeks that Dak was there. So Mike McCarthy was doing his job, which is what we know he could do, was get the offense going. He just brought in somebody that is trash defensively. And so I don't think we see what Aaron Rodgers saw. I think a lot of the play calling, again, Mike McCarthy does have the, of course, any head coach has the authority to take over and call those plays. But we do have to put some of that accountability on Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, I don't know what that was that he, these play calling situations on Monday with Andy Dalton, but it just didn't work. And players are not playing well. Nolan is horrible, and Mike McCarthy hasn't necessarily been dealt a great hand, but he chose his hand. And that's what I said earlier. Like, I said this earlier on my Facebook to one of my guys on Facebook. He's just been dealt a really bad hand with all the injuries, your quarterback going down. That is mentally affecting, especially the offense. As much as they, probably are saying, oh, next man up, we're going to do what we got to do. We're going to win it for Dak. Dak being out, certainly, I don't care what nobody says, certainly has had an effect on Ezekiel Elliott. He put the ball on the ground twice. And real quick, they got him up out of there real quick. Like I said on Monday, I think he should have sat longer. I think he understands the issues of his sin, because that's what that was, sin. Okay, it's a whole lot of damn sin putting the ball on the ground, back-to-back possessions. Listen, you just gotta nip that stuff in the bud. These are easy things that Dallas can correct. Really, that Dallas can correct to put them in position to win ball games. So, look, man, it's unfortunate. I told y'all I was going to tell you who I believe is going to win the NFC East, and it shames me to say that it will likely be the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, it is what it is. That's easy. The division might be won with 5 wins. So, may the best team win. Everybody play this week. The Washington football team plays Dallas on Sunday, and the Giants and the Eagles play on Thursday. So, unless God forbid, listen, freak phenomenon if all the teams tie. That's not going to happen. Both games tie. It's not going to happen. So at least there are going to be 2 wins in the NFC East this week. So we'll see where that's going to be. Where that's going to be at. I don't expect Dallas to win the game against the Washington football team. I think that Dallas is going to lose that game. It's just bad. Like I said before, Dallas wasn't going to do too much with Dak Prescott anyway, but at least they would have kept it interesting. Do I think Ezekiel Elliott can still go off? Yeah. I don't know. That offensive line is just jacked up. I don't and as great as a runner and as great as Ezekiel Elliott is, a lot of his success was running behind the line. I mean, my son is 9. He could have ran behind the line and been picking up as many yards as Ezekiel Elliott was. The line was amazing, and it's not the line that it was 3-4 seasons ago. It's just not that. No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You know, it's a whole lot going on in Washington. Their quarterback controversy. You know, every team in the NFC East is just horrible right now. I mean, just absolutely just terrible. To mention what you said earlier, Brian, ain't no way in hell Jerry Jones is signing Colin freaking Kaepernick. It's just not happening. I mean, do Colin even want to play at this point, y'all? Like, for real. I know we keep saying, hey, sign Colin Kaepernick. You can do, I just feel like at this point, Colin is so much bigger than football. Like, he's just bigger than the NFL. I really don't think that's the case. Dallas should pick up Fitz behind what line? It does not, at this point, it does not matter what quarterback you put behind there. They are going to get slaughtered. You don't want to continue to mess up the chemistry with your receivers and your runners and stuff like that by constantly switching out quarterbacks. So you roll with Andy Dalton. We don't have to roll with Andy Dalton for the rest of the year. It is what it is. Barring injury, Andy Dalton is going to be the quarterback for the rest of the season. It is what it is. They just need to let this go. Okay, Dallas just need to go ahead and let the season go. It is what it is. I'm moving ahead. I am already at the 2021 season for the Dallas Cowboys because this season is a wash. It's a wash season. It is what it is. It's just so much more than I can say, y'all. It's so much more that I can say. The silver lining in all this for me, it's the silver lining for me. The silver lining in all this for me is this front office, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, heavy on the Jerry Jones. I really, really, like I said on Monday, believe that he brought Andy Dalton in there to put some kind of pressure on Dak. And let me tell you something, Dak wasn't even on the field on Monday and proved his worth. Didn't even need to be on the field. That's how stuff works. He didn't even need to be on the field and he gonna get his money. Because I don't even see anybody else that we could, at this point you gotta sign Dak. I think that Dak will come back because they're gonna pay Dak some money. Everybody will be back healthy next year. They'll be in a better place. Maybe we're playing under normal circumstances. Maybe Rona ain't in effect so much. You know what I'm saying? So listen, y'all being real funny. Tank? What you saying? We tank? Basically what you're saying is that we tank, Brian. Go for a high draft pick. Can they try Jesus? Y'all are really funny. Is it bad that I want to see the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs to get stomped down a ton like the Dolphins did the Jags one year with Dan Marino? I mean, you're a hater. You're a Dallas hater. So, I mean, y'all going to wish the worst thing that can happen for me. I mean, the worst thing happen is I'm like I said, the silver lining for me is that the front office really think they had it all figured out. And they don't. And they're sitting there with these stupid looks on their faces when a game like Monday transpire. And it'll be games like that for the rest of the year. Take care of your people. Take care of your people that's putting their bodies on the line. Their mind, body, blood, sweat, and tears on the line. Dak Prescott. Take care of him. If you took care of him, then maybe he wouldn't have felt the need. Oh gosh, I know that this is about to be extra, but maybe Dak don't feel the need to run the way he ran and get injured like that. If he didn't feel like he was proving a point, maybe he calls a different play. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't feel like he was proving a point, if he had already gotten his money. Take care of your folks. And so they sitting up in the press service, they sitting up in those suites up in Jerry World looking stupid while your team is losing by 28 because you thought bringing in somebody like Andy Dalton, he was going to be able to pick up where Dak left off. Whoever said that, whoever thought that, you've never watched Andy Dalton and you damn sure don't know football. You just don't know football. It is what it is. Dallas need to make some changes. It needs to be some stuff that happens. Mindsets need to change. Perhaps they can get a jump start on the mindset and the changes for next year because I don't care if they do win the division. As I mentioned earlier, they're not getting past the first round. And it is what it is. I do want to talk about some other news, though. How about the fact that I know y'all saw the alert earlier. How about the fact that the Seahawks got their out on Antonio Brown? I mean, already Russell Wilson was already my early MVP pick because Russell Wilson been balling. But you give him Antonio Brown. Now, Antonio Brown might not be in, football shape. He been out or whatever. But man, when they get going, when they get clicking, they're gonna be tough to beat. They're gonna be tough to beat. And if the Seahawks pick up Antonio Brown, then I got the Seahawks in Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship. I do. I do believe that Tampa's defense is going to get better. I think that them playing and the way they played against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers was huge for their confidence, for their self-esteem. I think that they're going to continue and carry that. They play the Raiders tomorrow. Oh, well, this week. I don't think they play. They might play on Thursday. They're going to take that intensity to every game going forward. So perhaps they may be able to slow down the Seahawks offense. But man, if the Seahawks pick up Antonio Brown, that is going to be crazy. I felt Dak tears being carted off. I couldn't imagine the pain he felt after what happened to his brother. Yeah, that was really, really sad. You favor Russell because of his looks. I don't find Russell Wilson attractive at all. Sorry. That would be an embarrassment of riches if they get Antonio Brown. Don't forget that they got Josh Gordon too in Seattle. How is Josh doing though? I just know, listen, I haven't even been paying attention to the wide receivers. I've just been paying attention to Russell Wilson. He is balling out of control. He is just doing that in my fur, and it's just crazy. So, I'm excited, I guess, for the football week. I've never been so unexcited about a Dallas season in my life, y'all. Like, I watch because they met my team. I watch because, I have to, because I want to talk and be able to break it down and talk to y'all like I'm talking to y'all now. But good grief. Is this what it feel like to be a Jets fan? Because it's giving Jets fans vibes. Oh, and that's another thing. Speaking of suspicion, they got Randy Gregory coming back in Dallas. Listen, I ain't never seen a player have so many chances. I mean, between him and Josh Gordon, damn. I mean, that man must be getting chances, okay? It is what it is. I'm out, y'all. I'm rolling out. I hope y'all enjoyed my little commentary. I had to get some stuff off my chest. I do agree with what y'all said earlier, that the players do have to be held accountable. You making millions of dollars. But the mindset, man, that stuff, you got to be comfortable with your coach. You got to be comfortable with who you dealing with. And, Dallas for the last couple of years just haven't been putting the correct people around these players. And it started with Dak. I'm adamant Dak is a 4th-round draft pick. And, the type of, he's going to have a learning curve. They didn't draft Dallas. They didn't draft Dak for Dak to be the face of the franchise. That's not why they drafted Dak. They drafted Dak to sit behind Romo. Because we expected Romo to still be playing. Or I know that's what the front office expected. So they just didn't put the right people around him. I don't think that they started to put the right people around him until last year. And I think Jon Kitna was a big deal for his mechanics. I don't think people saw it last year the way I did. Now they're seeing it, they were seeing it this year. Dak has been much better with his mechanics. He's not overthrowing as much. He's just, he was definitely getting better. But you do that in his 3rd and 4th year. 4th and 5th year. That's ridiculous. The defense has got to get better. The defense will only get better if one or two things happen. If you simplify the defense and stop doing too much, or you get rid of Mike Nolan. So we'll see what comes first. But thank y'all for tuning in. And y'all know I'm going to be back real soon talking what I talk. In the meantime, make sure that y'all check out my bro, Brian H. Waters, because he always going to be talking about, this baseball thing. I don't watch baseball outside of the playoffs and the World Series. So I definitely checked out last night's game before I fell asleep because I wasn't feeling well. That's why I didn't get on here yesterday. But I'm out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, Seattle.